Right now, something just interrupted you, but you didn't notice it because it didn't come as sound, not a notification, not a vibration. It came as something quieter, a prediction. Your brain just guessed what might happen next. A message, a sound, a shift, anything. And the strange part? That prediction didn't come from you. It was trained into you. But here's what makes this uncomfortable. You were never told you were being trained. So the question becomes, if no one is controlling your attention, why does it feel like it keeps leaving without permission? You probably believe you control your focus. You open your phone. You choose what to watch. You scroll when you feel like it. But there's a small contradiction hiding here. You almost never open your phone with intent. You open it and then discover intent. That reversal is everything, because it suggests something most people never question. What if attention is not something you use, but something that gets captured the moment your mind relaxes? And if that's true, then the real question is no longer if it's happening, but who benefits from you not noticing it happening. In the 1990s, neuroscientists studying dopamine expected something simple. Reward in leads to pleasure out. But the brain didn't follow the rule. Instead, they saw something disturbing. Dopamine didn't spike when rewards arrived. It spiked before they arrived. Not at the moment of satisfaction, but at the moment of uncertainty. That changed everything, because it meant the brain is not chasing pleasure. It is chasing prediction. Now pause for a second. Think about your phone. It doesn't just give information, it manufactures uncertainty. Will someone text you? Did something happen? Did you miss something important? And uncertainty is not neutral. It is chemically irresistible. So the real product was never content. It was anticipation. But that opens a darker loop. If anticipation is the hook, what happens when a mind is never allowed to stop anticipating? Every scroll feels random. But it isn't. It is structured unpredictability. A funny clip, then something emotional, then something shocking, then nothing you expected. Because predictability kills attention, and unpredictability sustains it. But here's the hidden logic. If you can control what someone expects next, you can control what they keep watching. And slowly, you are no longer consuming content. You are existing inside unresolved tension. But there is a paradox hiding here. The more your brain adapts to surprises, the less anything feels like a surprise. So the system must escalate. Not meaning, not depth, but intensity. Which leads to a disturbing question. What happens when a mind can only respond to escalation? Think back. A few years ago, boredom was normal. Now even a 5-second pause feels wrong. Not uncomfortable, wrong, but boredom isn't emptiness. It is neural reset, a state where thought reconnects itself. So what changed? Not your brain, your environment. Because now, every empty second is filled before it can exist. But here's the paradox no one notices. The less boredom you experience, the less depth your thinking can reach. So you gain stimulation, but lose internal silence. And without silence, you stop hearing your own thinking. Which leads to a sharper question. If your thoughts are always interrupted, who is completing them for you? Right now, there is a competition happening. Not for apps, for your reactions. Every notification is competing with another notification. Every platform is fighting for a fraction of your attention. But you are not the user in this system. You are the environment being shaped, because the real goal is not what you see. It is what you react to without thinking. A swipe, a refresh, a check, a scroll. At first it is choice, then it becomes habit. Then it becomes reflex. And once it becomes reflex, it stops feeling like behavior. It starts feeling like personality. That's the shift most people miss. Here's something strange. You don't remember most of what you scroll. Not because it doesn't matter, but because memory needs continuity, and modern content breaks continuity on purpose. So your brain collects thousands of fragments, but stores almost none of them. And that creates a false feeling. I've seen a lot today. But also, I can't remember anything I saw. And here's where it gets worse. Your brain doesn't like that gap, so it compensates. It increases stimulation demand, which is why slower content now feels uncomfortable. Not boring, incomplete, but incomplete of what? That's the question nobody stops to ask. At this point, something changes. The system doesn't need to push you anymore. You start doing it. You open apps without thinking, you refresh without reason, you switch without awareness. And the most important shift, there is no longer a decision moment, only movement. But movement without awareness is not control. It is drift, and drift leads to one final question. If your attention is being shaped this subtly, what version of you is forming underneath it? Nothing here is random. Not timing, not interruption, not uncertainty. But the real realization is not about technology. It is about identity. Because attention is not just what you focus on, it is what your mind slowly becomes. And the question that remains is simple. If your attention is being shaped every day, are you still choosing who you are becoming, or just discovering it too late?